Hi guys, welcome to the K/LGBT plus podcast. Yay! And today we are on episode 2, where we will be talking about the continuation of Kathleen's story from episode 1 and dating apps. Now for our introductions.
Hello, my name is Christhopper and I'm a gay living in Mexico.
Hi, I'm Caroline Kim and I'm a lesbian living in South Korea.
Hi, I'm Phektra. I am bisexual and I currently live in the USA.
Hi, I'm Kathleen from Indonesia and I'm straight.
Alright, so for this episode, we're going to be talking about, as I said earlier, the continuation of Kathleen's little sneak peek story from episode 1, and we are going to be talking about dating apps, and not just dating apps within the straight range, but also within the lesbian range and gay range, and just our little stories for today. So Kathleen, could you start us off with your little story that we gave a sneak peek from last episode?
Yeah, sure. So, I remember it's in Itaewon, right? In Itaewon, it was a Latin club called Juntos. And before we went to Juntos, we actually went to other clubs. So we drank and I was pretty drunk. Not pretty drunk, I was completely drunk. I was just so drunk. So when I entered Juntos, I was already half dead. And then I was dancing, I was enjoying my time there. And actually I danced with a Korean guy at first. And then suddenly he switched with a Russian guy. Well, I don't mind the switch, but this Russian guy gets really, really touchy. And I was just so drunk, so I don't know what I was doing there. But yeah, I was just dancing, and then we went to the corner, we talked, and at that time I didn't have my phone. So Phektra, she had my phone, so he tried to drag me out from the club, and I was asking for my phone because I just want to be safe. And at first I was texting in the group, I don't know if I should go with this guy or not, something like that. And then suddenly he grabbed my phone and typed in the group. He sent a text it'll be pretty quick or it'll be fast, something like that. And then because I was completely drunk, I couldn't resist him pulling me from the club. And then he dragged me out to this empty, dark neighborhood that I don't know where. It's just so scary. And then, long story short, I ran away. And luckily, I still have my phone with me. And then I fell down on the street. I hurt my knees. Oh, it was just a scary experience. But in the end, I managed to get to a crowded place again, and there I tried to contact you guys in the group. So it was pretty scary. So guys, if you decided to go clubbing in Korea, just make sure you stay safe, don't drink too much, and make sure you have your friends to protect you. Yeah, that's my story. So scary, really traumatizing.
When we received this message from Kathleen phones about this guy tipping on her phone, we say oh, she's okay, she's getting a date, right? So we're pretty cool and chill with that. But at the moment Kathleen was tipping help me guys, something like that, we panicked a lot. We were too afraid and we run to the club and tried to find her. It was really also scary for us, as friends. But luckily you get safe and fine.
Yeah, and I think also Itaewon, we were near the police station area, so if it ever escalated, we thankfully it didn't, but if you're ever in any situation where it did escalate to something very dangerous or something very like horrible, there is a police station near the clubs in Itaewon, so you'll be able to go there. And I'm not sure, I don't know, Caroline, I'm not sure, do they have like much translators there, or would it be like difficult to get a translator at the police station if you're like a foreigner and you get into like this type of like situation?
Well, I really wish I did the research on this because I don't know the answer for the question, but it's a really good question actually. Let me search this up and maybe we could talk about this more on our next episode. But yeah, Itaewon is I would say is both very, it's a very sketchy, it could be very sketchy, but it's also pretty safe because there's a really big police station right in the middle of the street, right? And one time, Petra, do you remember there was this creepy dude like following us to the restaurant, and then we had to hide in the restaurant, and he was like still standing outside. But when we called the office, the police lady, she just came in like in 5 minutes. It only took like a few minutes for her to arrive, and then we felt really safe and secure. So I think it's a pretty safe place, yeah. But I do feel responsible for what had happened to Kathleen because I never mind too much, like I mentioned in the last episode. I don't mind like friends of mine doing like casual hookups or like dancing with others. Like I just consider it as she's having fun. So I didn't care too much attention to Kathleen being with this stranger dude. But then after this incident, I learned to be more careful and to protect and to care more about my drunk friends. Yeah, in general. Because Petra was always our caretaker. Yeah.
But that's why I also like felt like with this incident, I kind of also felt like a lot guilty, and not even a little bit, it's like a lot, because I was like, you know, I'm always the one that wants to be, I want to be responsible. I want to be like the one taking care of you guys, because that's just how I am. But like at the same time, I kind of felt guilty because it was like I didn't do enough to like go after. Like I just kind of let it go because she did ask me for her phone and I gave it to her. And then when I saw the text, I was like, okay, she says she's fine. And like what Christopher said, we panicked when she said help. And I was just like, oh, like shit, maybe I should have like followed her out, because I was confused. Because similar thing happened to Christopher, but the incident that we talked about, how in the last episode, like you were making out with one of the dudes in the gay club, and I was just like, we were all like kind of worried, like, did you really want that to happen to you, like, or did you try to tell him no, and then he just like kind of forced you? So like to me, like with that incident and this incident, I kind of felt like guilty about it, and I just felt really like apologetic afterwards. And it was just, that's why like you go with friends to clubbing, like no matter what, in Korea, in the States, like anywhere, even if you go by yourself or you don't have any friends, like you're new to the area or whatever, just try to like push out of your comfort zone and try to make friends, or always do those like, you know, careful situations, always send your location and all that.
Yeah, I feel glad you say that because I think a lot of young people or a lot of persons who never traveled into Korea, they have this perception Korea is really safe, or it's like the Korean dramas, you know, something like that. But in every country, like less or more, you always can find like dangerous things.
Well, we'll have to be careful and like try not to depend too much on the friends too. Like you can trust your friends, that's why you go with friends, but the most important thing is self-control. Self-control, self-protection. Yeah, you should not drink too much. and also like with Phektra, like you said, I'm so grateful that we have you with us, because you always take care of us. You try not to drink too much when you're in the club, but also like sometimes I feel guilty because we depend too much on you. Like Phektra is our safe guardian. So yeah, but also like we wanted you to enjoy yourself too. So yeah, the most important thing is still like your self-protection. And so your friends can enjoy their moments too. Gracias, te amo.